Hello everyone, today we learn about threading. Threading helps you to run several sections of the process at the same time. These various components are normally distinct and have their own execution unit within the same operation. The procedure is nothing more than a running program with individual units that can run in parallel. For example, a web browser could be a process, and an application that runs several cameras at the same time could be a process. A thread has its own flow of execution, which means that the process will have multiple things happening at one time. It is important to note that each process has at least one thread, which is referred to as the main thread. If your program does not have a defined thread, it will have the main thread, which is process itself. Look at the diagram above. There is a process that consists of main thread, which consists of global variables, and three different threads T1, T2 and T3. Each thread has its own set of local variables in code execution flow. The threads generally share the process's resources, such as the resources available to the main thread, which are also shared by three threads T1, T2 and T3. All threads will have access to global variables in addition to their own local variables. Advantages. Running several threads is similar to running multiple programs concurrently, but with the following advantages. Multiple threads within a process share the same data space as the main thread and can thus share information and communicate more easily than if they were separate processes. Threads, also known as lightweight processes, do not require much memory overhead and are therefore less expensive than processes. Threading. The threading module in Python is a built-in module that can be directly imported and is known as threading. Threading is an object in Python because almost everything is represented as an object. A thread is capable of holding data, storing data in data structures such as dictionaries, lists, sets, and so on. It is possible to pass it as a parameter to a function. A thread can also run as a process. A thread in Python can have various states like wait, locked, etc. Starting a new thread. To spawn another thread, use the following method from the thread module: thread.start, new thread, and the arguments, the name of the function and the set of arguments that we pass. This method call allows for the creation of new threads in both Linux and Windows in a quick and efficient manner. The method call returns immediately, and the child thread begins and calls the function with arguments passed in. The thread is terminated when the function returns. Here is an example where we initiate the thread. We initiate the thread using x.start, and this in turn invokes the name of the function, the thread function. So here thread function consists of the information about the thread, and then it sleeps for 2 units of time and then ends the thread. The threading module. The threading module exposes all the methods of the thread module and provides some additional methods. For example, threading.activeCount. This returns the number of thread objects that are active. Threading current thread. This returns the number of thread objects in the calls thread control. Threading.enumerate. This returns a list of all the thread objects that are currently active. In addition to the methods, the threading module has a thread class that implements threading. The methods provided by the thread class are as follows: run. This method is the entry point for a thread. Start. Method starts a thread by calling the run method. Join. Time. The join waits for threads to terminate. Is alive. Method checks whether a thread is still executing. GetName method returns the name of a thread. setName method sets the name of a thread. Creating thread using thread module. To implement a new thread using the threading module, you have to do the following. Define a new subclass of thread class. Override the init method to add additional arguments. Then override the run self method to implement what thread should do when started. Once you have created the new thread subclass, you can create an instance of it and then start a new thread by invoking the start method, which in turn calls run method. The structure of threading module. Threading module has objects, factory functions, classes and exceptions. Objects have lock object, rlock object, factory functions like active count, lock, current thread, rlock, enumerate, semaphore, etc. Classes, thread, event, timer, local, condition, semaphore, and exceptions. If there are any thread errors, will be taken care by this particular module. Here is an example where 3 threads are run parallelly. Each thread, the first thread will take one time module, and then second thread will take 2 units of time, and third thread takes 3 modules of time. And you can see here the output of the same. Synchronizing threads. The idea is that when a thread needs to access a specific resource, it obtains a lock for that resource. Once a thread has locked a resource, no other thread will be able to access it until the lock is released. As a result, resource changes will be automatic and race conditions will be avoided. The underscore thread module implements a lock as a low-level synchronization primitive. A lock can be in one of the 2 stages at any given time, locked or unlocked. And it accepts 2 methods, acquire or release. This is an example. So thread first one acquires the lock, executes the first function, and then again lock is acquired and then executes the first function, and you can see once the first function is accomplished, then the lock is acquired for the second function, and it can go on this way. Multi-thread priority queue. The queue module allows you to create a new queue object that can hold a specific number of items. There are following methods to control the queue. Get function removes and returns an item from the queue. The put function adds an item to a queue. The queue size returns the number of items that are currently in the queue. The empty function returns true if queue is empty, otherwise false. Full function returns true if queue is full, otherwise false. Thank you. Let's see an examples of this thread. Let's go through a few examples using threads. So here is the library importing threading and the time libraries. So here are thread function and run functions are defined here. So this is the init function, and print time function helps us to see how threads are executed here. We create new threads, new threads, thread 1 and thread 2. So call thread 1 as 1 and thread 2 as 2 with the time units of 1 and 2 here. And then thread 1 dot start and thread 2 dot start will start accordingly. So let's run this program. Run thread. You can see here in this output, we are starting thread 1, exit the main thread, and then start the thread 2, and you can see how thread 1 and thread 2 with the 1 and 2 units of time are being executed, and then the thread execution ends here. This is a program to demonstrate threads in queue. So the same way we have initialized the thread here, use the run function here, and we see here the process data. This particular function helps us to lock and release the functions accordingly. And here is the thread list. So we execute first thread 1 and then thread 2 and thread 3, and then queue lock, we lock the according, and the work queue is we're giving the 10 seconds time here. So we'll execute this program here. Thread queue. So thread 1, thread 2 starts here. So you can see here thread 1 started, thread 2 started, and thread 3 started. And first thread 2 processing is 1, 2 and 3, and so on.